What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today we have an unboxing and first impressions of this boot right here, the Under Armour Shadow Elite 2. Now I'm excited to try this boot out just because I have seen a lot of people wear this boot and say that it's really good. And it took me a while to get them, but I finally got them. And yeah, I'm super excited to check them out. Now here's the tag. And I got it in this colorway, the gold colorway, which is a really sick colorway in my opinion. And I did change the laces already, and I'll explain it in a little bit. But this colorway is just beautiful in my opinion. I'm really glad I was able to get this colorway. They kind of sold out really quickly, and I was able to find them. So that's the reason why it took me a while to get them. But yeah, I think this colorway is sick. One of the best colorways of this year in my opinion. And then here we have, I guess, the carbon fiber sole plate, which looks crazy as well. Now, like I said before, I did change the laces already, and that's just because this is the laces that they came with, and I just felt them that they were just a little too chunky for my liking. I felt them a little bit thick, and so I just decided to switch them out for like thinner black laces, which I think looks really good still. But yeah, today we're just going to talk about the upper, the sole plate, the stud pattern, the way they fit and feel, and I'll just give you guys my thoughts about this boot. Alright, so first we'll talk about the upper. And this is a knitted upper, which they are calling IntelliKnit. And it's basically like Nike's Flyknit, Adidas Prime Knit. And this is their like version of like the knitted material, which is IntelliKnit. The whole upper is the knitted upper. And it's very soft, very pliable straight out of the box. Feels pretty sock-like. And I don't know, I just really like this upper like already. It's just super soft. And it's pretty cool just because you guys can see here all the gold are basically overlays, which we've seen from other companies, and it's just used to kind of protect the upper. But this like area here where it's not gold, it is exposed like knitted material. That's pretty cool just because it is exposed, and it is exposed on the inside as well. There is no like added liner or anything, so basically all the support is coming from like the actual knit material as well as these overlays, which is pretty cool, like something we don't really see all that much. You guys can see here and here we do have their exo mesh, which is like an extra material on top of these areas where you're gonna need like more reinforcement. So I'm guessing it's just gonna add more stability to the midfoot where you're cutting across and stuff like that, and it's just supposed to reinforce the upper. But again, it's still pretty soft. It doesn't feel stiff whatsoever. Like the midfoot is nice and soft, the toe box is nice and soft, and so overall the upper just feels really nice, really high quality and very premium. And like I said, coming from Under Armour, I can know Under Armour has made some like crazy boots in the past, but they've also made some excellent boots. Like some of my favorite boots are from Under Armour, like the Speedform that I have showed before is one of my favorite boots of all time, and then the Clutch Fit 3.0 is also an excellent boot. And so I know Under Armour can make really amazing boots, and this one feels like another really good boot from them. So I'm actually really excited to try them out on the pitch. So here in the midfoot we do have the knitted material, and what I found is that this knitted material is very, very stretchy. Like it stretches a lot. Like you guys can see, I know the laces are tied, but this knitted material stretches a lot. So if you do have a wider foot, like I wouldn't really worry all that much just because this like midfoot area does stretch a lot, and so it kind of creates the space for your like wider foot. But yeah, going back really quickly, the upper itself doesn't really have any grip elements. It's pretty much like smooth or kind of slick. It does have a little bit of texture, but I don't really expect it to like grip the ball or anything. I don't think it's gonna feel overly slick, but the upper does have these like rubber pieces here on the side, like for the lace holes, and I guess it's just to reinforce like the lace holes so they don't break. But this is like a little bit of a rubber material, and so this does feel pretty grippy, and I don't think it's gonna like provide any grip on the ball. Maybe if you're hitting it right here, but again, I don't think it's gonna be that significant. And another reason why I changed the chunky laces for like a thinner pair of laces is that this like rubber material actually kind of like prevents the laces from like moving a little bit, and so they kind of make it harder to tie your laces and pull them really tight. And so that's good because it creates kind of more tension, like it holds the tension a bit more, and so the laces don't like become loose, which is a good thing. But like if they're really chunky like these were, like they just felt a little bit like annoying just to like pull them, and they felt like they were getting stuck. So I just decided to change them for thinner laces, and that's just being picky. So like obviously the laces are going to be fine, but I just prefer like thinner laces. They just feel less bulky on the sides, I guess, but that's just a me thing. It's like personal preference. So moving on to the heel, the heel feels nice and padded. There's a good amount of padding. It does sit pretty high. It is pretty deep. The padding looks like it's going to lock in your heel really nicely, and hopefully there's no movement to it whatsoever. All right, so moving on to the sole plate, we do have like a carbon fiber sole plate, and for the most part, it does have some responsiveness. It is kind of like snappy. It's not the stiffest sole plate, but it does feel pretty responsive. The midfoot is pretty stiff, but like there is a little bit movement side to side, which honestly I don't mind. It kind of reminds me of that regular sole plate with a little bit of like this wing that it had, and so it made it kind of flexible in the midfoot. And I remember it just being really natural feeling with your foot, just because it's gonna like hit all the areas of the ground. And so for me, I don't really mind it. I guess we'll see how they perform, obviously, in the play test. And here, the stud pattern, they're all blades, and they're kind of crazy blades, just because they're kind of positioned in weird spots, especially here in the heel. It's like really weird. And hopefully it doesn't feel too bad on AG pitches. And an AG pitch is the only pitch I do have available, so I can't use this on FG. But, I'm still looking forward to testing these out on an AG pitch. All right, so now we'll move on to an arm feet portion, and I'll talk about the way they fit the feel as well as the sizing. All right, guys, so here we have the cleats on feet, and first, like, this colorway is just amazing. I feel like they just look really, really nice, and they feel really comfortable as well. Like, the fit is actually pretty nice. Like I said before in the video, that like knitted material in the midfoot does really stretch a lot, and so even if you do have a wider foot, like this material here just stretches and kind of accommodates for your wider foot. And so you guys can see it's kind of really stretched out here on the top of the foot. And so here in the midfoot, I actually don't really feel like it's hurting my foot whatsoever. So I feel like it just gives you a little bit more like wiggle room in the midfoot because of that knitted material there. And for me, that just makes it a little bit more comfortable. Like they're not really squeezing my foot whatsoever. It has like a nice snug fit to it in the midfoot. In the toe box, there is a decent amount of width there and space. The toe box feels nice and like wide. And for me, that feels good. It's not like a pointed like toe box. It comes like pretty like round, so it feels really nice. And in terms of sizing, I went true to size, and these fit great, so I'd recommend going true to size. The heel of these boots feel pretty comfortable. Like the padding does a really nice job of locking in your heel. But overall, I am impressed with the way these fit and feel. Do feel structured here in the midfoot, but like I said, because of the knitted material here in the midfoot, it does kind of accommodate a wider foot type. Alright, so now I'll leave you guys with my final thoughts. Alright guys, so overall the Shadow Elite 2 feels like a really good boot. Like I really like the upper, it's nice, soft, and pliable. The fit is pretty good. The heel feels pretty comfortable. Like it checks a lot of like boxes from what I'm looking for and what I like. The sole plate is kind of crazy with the carbon fiber as well as the stud pattern, so we'll see how this performs on AG. But overall, I'm excited to try these out. I can see why people really like this boot. So that's it for today's video. If you guys have any questions on this boot, just leave them down below in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notifications so you're notified for the playtest. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.